Good good day everyone. Today is April 10, 2020. My name is Jaime Sandoval. Phone number 562-259-3368. California license number for real estate transactions 02012264. And today we're going to be talking about escrow. The extra escrow, how is it that escrow conduct business and the procedure. Okay. Um, an escrow is the processing by a neutral party of the paperwork and money involved in a sale or other real estate transactions. The purpose of an escrow is to assure that the appropriate parties perform the terms of the contract. An escrow is created when a new written agreement instructs a neutral third party to hold funds and proceeds only when all the agreed to conditions have been performed. What are the requirements for a valid escrow? The Escrow Act is found in the Financial Code. The three requirements for a valid escrow are sign escrow instructions, forming a binding contract between two or more parties, usually a buyer and a seller. A neutral party, which is the escrow company acting as a dual agent for the buyer and seller. Conditional delivery of funds and documents. After all the conditions in the escrow are met. When escrow closes, dual agency changes to separate agencies. The escrow holder can be a corporation, an attorney, a real estate broker acting as a real estate agent in the transaction. A neutral depository is an escrow business conducted by a licensed escrow holder. An escrow officer, holder, or agent, though not licensed by the state, is an employee of a licensed escrow company who acts as the agent. In Northern California, the majority of escrows are handled by escrow departments of title insurance companies, which are governed by the insurance commissioner. In Southern California, many escrows are handled by independent escrow companies which, by law, must be incorporated and are governed by the Commissioner of Corporations. There are four functions of escrow: provide a custodian of funds and documents who can deliver them concurrently, provide a clearinghouse for payments of liens and for refinancing, compute all prorations for statements, and prepare documents, then record. What are the complete sequence of events in an escrow, which is the following: the preliminary title search and report, the lender's demand, request for new loan documents, completion of conditions and deposits of funds, adjustments and prorations, transfer of existing policies or creation of new ones, recording and issuing of title policy, disbursement of funds, and escrow statements sent to each party. Real estate brokers can conduct escrows. A escrow can handle escrows. A broker can handle escrows for a fee only if the broker is acting as a real estate agent or principal in that transaction. All written escrow instructions executed by a buyer or seller must contain a statement in not less than 10-point type. That includes the licensee's name and the fact that he or she is licensed by the Department of Real Estate. The last page of the purchase agreement contains an acknowledgment for receipt of the completed agreement. Once the California Residential Purchase Agreement and Joint Escrow Instructions form has been filed out and executed, you will fax or deliver it to the escrow company. Always follow up on your escrows. To keep track of the escrow process, you'll want to use an agent broker escrow checklist. When opening escrow, always double check the spelling of names and the address. If it's available, provide escrow with a property profile obtained from the title company when you open escrow. Once the escrow instructions have been drawn, neither party may change them without written agreement of the other party. If a dispute should arise and the third parties cannot agree to terms, an escrow company will bring an interpleader action to let the courts determine where the money or consideration goes. Who select the escrow company? A real estate license is prohibited by law from receiving any kickback for solicitation of escrow business. Either the buyer or seller can choose the escrow company. Death does not cancel an escrow. It is a binding on the heirs because of the prior agreed to contract. Escrow instructions are formal instructions drawn from the information contained in the original agreement, usually the signed purchase contract. All parties to the escrow should read the escrow instructions very carefully and should sign them only after every detail is absolutely correct and the terms meet with their approval. Most escrows for the sale of a home include obtaining a new loan and the payoff of or assumption of the old loan. The payoff demand statement is a formal demand statement from the lender that details the amounts owed, as calculated by the lender for the purpose of paying off the loan in full. A beneficiary's statement is a demand statement by a lender under a deed of trust that provides information such as the unpaid balance, monthly payments, and interest rate necessary if the loan is to be assumed. Closing date is the date recordation. Closing is a process of signing, transferring of documents, and distribution of funds. When time is not specified, the escrow will close by mutual consent or within reasonable period. The closing date is the date that the documents are recorded. Proration. Property taxes, interest, fire insurance, and rents are prorated but not title insurance or non-recurring fees. Proration is a process of proportionately dividing expenses or income to the precise date that escrow closes or any other date previously agreed upon. All escrow companies use 30 days as a base month. The two rules of prorations are date escrow closes, date item is paid. Termites and other problems. A structural pest control certification report is usually a condition of the escrow. Pest control reports are not required by law, but many lenders will require them. The best time for a seller to have a termite report issued is before putting the home on the market. The Civil Code requires that the broker shall deliver a copy of the structure pest control certification report and notice of work completed to the buyer, if such a report is a condition of the deposit receipts. If more than one broker is acting as an agent, the selling broker shall deliver the required documents to the buyers, who needs to sign them. Fire insurance. Fire insurance is very inexpensive compared to the possible dollar loss due to fire. The California Standard Form Fire Insurance Policy insures the dwelling against fire and lightning. Additional coverage can be obtained to cover perils of windstorm, explosion, hail, aircraft, smoke, riot, vehicles not attributed to a strike or civil commotion. When purchasing property, a buyer usually obtains a new policy. If the seller has filed an insurance claim during the previous 5 years, he must disclose this to the buyer in writing. Recommend to your clients who are buying insurance that they review the policy carefully to determine if they have the correct type of coverage and are carrying an adequate amount of insurance, particularly when the property value has increased. Title insurance. This is a recorded public history of a property. Abstract of title is a written summary of a property document that evidence title. What are the functions of the title insurance? Because many things outside the public record can affect the legality of the title, title insurance functions to protect the insurer. Title insurance also insures the lender against losses that result from imperfections in title. Preliminary title report. The first step in a title search is the ordering of preliminary title report. A preliminary title report is a report showing the condition of title before a sale or loan transaction. A state law requires that buyers acknowledge receipt of the preliminary title report. The report consists of the name of the owner and descriptions of the property, a list of the outstanding taxes, bonds, or other assessments, the identity of any covenant, condition, or restrictions. Any recorded liens or other encumbrance must be eliminated before a loan is made. Type of insurance policies. California Land Title Association, or CLTA. In California, the standard title insurance policy is the CLTA. This standard policy protects against someone else who owns a recorded interest in your title, a document not properly signed, forgery, fraud, duress, incompetence, defective recording of a document, unmarkability of title, restricted covenants, lack of right of access to and from the land. American Land Title Associations, or ALTA. Most lenders require extended coverage of an ALTA policy. So ALTA is a better insurance than CLTA. This ALTA policy is an extended coverage policy that insures against many exclusions in the standard cover policy. An ALTA policy is a lender's policy. There are three different kinds of standard coverage titles insurance: an owner's policy, a lender's policy, and a jump protection policy. A smart agent makes sure the buyer and lender get the kind they want and understand the kind they have. The Alta R policy is recommended by title companies for 1 to 4 unit owner occupied residential dwelling. This policy does not require a survey of property lines and gives the buyer more coverage for the same price. Who pays title insurance fees? The title insurance fees are part of the escrow closing costs. In Southern California, it is customary for the seller to pay the fees. In Northern California, it is usually paid for by the buyer. In any escrow transactions for the purchase of real property where a title insurance policy will not be issued to the buyer must sign and acknowledge a disclosure statement stating that it may be advisable to obtain title insurance. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, or RESPA. RESPA allows borrowers to shop for settlement services. The law covers first loans in 1 to 4 unit residential dwellings. RESPA is a law that states that closing settlement costs of a real estate transaction must be made known to the borrower on or before the settlement date. California Escrow Associations. The California Escrow Association has developed a statewide program to promote professional service and educational opportunities for its members. With this, we're going to conclude the escrow journey and how to navigate when it's escrow is in process. So we talked about escrow procedures. We talked about how escrow works. We talked about proration, termites and other problems, fire insurance, title insurance, types of title insurance, RESPA, and California escrow associations. Once again, listeners, thank you for taking the time to understand a little bit about real estate consists. My name is Jaime Sandoval. Phone number 562-259-3368. I'm right here to help you and your real estate needs. Stay safe and always use social distancing, at least until the crisis is clear. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.